I know, I'll open a bar and I'll call it Lineker's. And
so what, leveraging off his name a bit?
well, our name.
Are you close to Gary, your brother?
No, we don't speak anymore, is what it is.
Yeah. I understand you went to prison back in the day.
It was for a tax offence, which is normally a slap on the wrist. They gave me 2.5 years. My second name was very famous. I think they just set an example on me.
Can you take us through the journey of building your club empire?
Yeah, like I say, I used to work fruit and veg markets in Leicester, and it was quite a thriving business. I left school at 14, didn't take any exams, because you could get away with stuff like that back in the day. And yeah, by the time I was 16, my dad let me go on my own on the markets, took some of the stalls that he had, and yeah, built from there really. And by the time I was 16, I had 30 people working for me.
Wow.
Which looking back is you know, quite shocked that actually happened, but at the time it just felt natural. So yeah, and then I was on the markets till I was 26, and then the supermarkets started opening. All the big ones, you know, your Tesco's and your Sainsbury's and Asda's, because they never used to exist. Everything was, all your fruit and veg was bought from the city centre. You used to go to the markets to buy it, and now they started stocking it in the big one-stop shops, and as we called them then. And it just declined. The markets just really fell apart. You know, because people, like I say, went to the city centre to buy the fruit and veg, and that just didn't happen anymore. So I saw it spiralling down, and like, I thought, I need to get out of this. And at the time, my brother was super famous, obviously. In 1986, he was just Barcelona and just captain of England and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, what can I do? So I thought, I know, I'll open a bar and I'll call it Lineker's. And
so what, leveraging off his name a bit?
Well, our name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I use it to my advantage, but why not?
Yeah.
You know, it was the perfect scenario, really.
Are you close to Gary, your brother?
No, we don't speak anymore.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
No, we don't speak.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I won't go into that though.
No.
No, I've learned not to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah. Do you think we have true freedom of speech now?
I think people should have freedom of speech. Obviously, that big thing with Gary the other week, you know, that went crazy.
Yeah. Well, tell us about that. What do you think about that?
Well, I fully support Gary, to be honest, for that, for what he did. You know, because he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. You know, he just spoke about something, and it just went mad.
Yeah.
It went absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
It was all every news channel was continually talking about it. But yeah, I don't really use Twitter myself now, so I don't try not to get involved in politics or anything, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's no point. I mean, I hardly ever watch the news now. I just don't have time, or I don't really enjoy sitting down watching the news anymore.
No.
So I used to, but so I'm a bit ignorant of stuff like that. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm happy being me. So
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, in the end, Gary got a hell of a lot of support, didn't he?
Yeah,
a lot
incredible.
of people.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was behind him. So.
Yeah.
But he stuck it out. He didn't, you know, he stuck in his beliefs, and it's obviously people supported him in the end.
So do you think he'd have walked if he was forced? Like, I mean, Piers Morgan did, didn't he? He walked.
Yeah. Like I say, he stood his ground, and I don't think he was shifting. So, and he made the right decision.
Yeah. So I understand you went to prison back in the day.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So I understand also you have no regrets, and you think, you know, you learned from that experience. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, it was for a tax offence. I think it ended up at £80,000 undeclared taxes, which is normally a slap on the wrist. But at that time, again, my second name was very famous.
Right.
On Gary's side, not mine. And I think they just set an example on me. And they gave me 2.5 years, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I took it to the Court of Appeal, and we won, and then they released me. But I was in there. The whole process took 7.5 months. So I was in there. I was in for 7.5 months. I went to 4 different prisons.
Wow.
But excuse me.
When was this?
My 44th birthday, I got sentenced.
Shit.
So it was a strange time. I mean, just walking out of that courtroom into the security court van, and you're handcuffed to the, you know, the little. Have you ever seen them big white vans with the windows on the side? You're in a little cubicle in there, and you're handcuffed to it, and like, oh my God, this is. And then you go to. I went to Brixton, straight to Brixton Prison. I'm like, you know, which is one of the toughest prisons in the UK. I got in there. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. But my PA, bless him, Dave, he got sentenced as well.
Oh no!
So we went together. Fortunately, we got shared the same room cell, and all that's in there is 2 bunk beds and a kettle and a shitter. That's it. Because you're in your cell for 23 hours a day. So it was a horrific time. But it's funny. The first night we were there, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Dave went, should we play hide and seek? There's nothing in there. So that broke the ice a bit. And but I was in Brixton Prison for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks before I got transferred to DCAT, which is an open prison. So the first 3-4 weeks was very, very tough. But you just got to get on with it. But like I say, I wouldn't change that experience because it taught me a lot. You know, you meet all sorts of characters in there. But they were generally nice to me.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, obviously I was a more high-profile person in the prison system than most people, but I got looked after. I mean, I had a few incidents.
Can you talk about any of those?
Yeah, I'll tell you about one. It's so these 2 guys came into my cell once. Because at that time you weren't allowed mobile phones. They're only the little flip ones and all that. You know, like the old Nokias and that, whatever they were then. And Facebook had just at its early stages, really. And 2 guys came in my cell, and they said, "Oh, I want to send my girlfriend a picture of you." I'm like, "Well, I don't really want you sending a picture of me in prison, mate, sorry." He went, no. He said, "Come with me." So I went with him. He took me in his cell. He went, "No, right, how are we going to do this?" I said, "Well, we're not going to do it." I said, "How can I have a picture and she's going to put it on Facebook with me in prison? It's not the one." He went, "No, you are going to have your picture up, whether you like it or not." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Just put me against the blank wall, so you know you can't tell it's a prison cell, and I'll do it." And but before he did that, he said, when he said you are going to have your picture taken, he put his hand in his pocket. I thought he was going to pull a knife out, but he pulled his phone out. I'm not looking for that. But yeah, I literally thought that he was going to, I don't know, stab me or something if I don't have my picture up. But so that wasn't a very nice experience, but generally it was okay.
And
how the food wasn't great.
No, was it really bad?
No, it was. I mean, you just got to take what you can. It's just slob food, man.
Yeah. Quick, before you go, if you want to watch the full deep dive, live, uncut, unedited version of the show, you can watch it here.